ultra rich continue to exploit tax loopholes. Hell, they wrote the tax law. That's why they get to exploit it, because they created the rules. Just in case you didn't know, I'm letting you know. And Social Security taxes are just one of the ways in which they continue to exploit the system that they created. Look at this headline from People's World. Workers pay Social Security taxes all year long, but the super rich don't. How do they pull this off? I'm so glad you asked, because we got the answers. Is your salary less than $160,000 a year? If so, you're among the 94% of American workers who pay into Social Security all year long, thanks to a loophole that exclusively benefits the super rich. Income above that amount simply isn't taxed for Social Security. Again, sisters and brothers, family and friends, beloveds, they wrote the tax policy. This means that someone like a Tucker Carlson, who makes a reported $8 million a year, overpaid, stop contributing to Social Security on January the 8th. Joe Rogan, who reportedly makes $4 million a month, definitely overpaid. Stop contributing. I mean, how you get a gig like that, Jackson? I mean, inquiring minds want to know.
I mean, basically and essentially in America, if you can create a profit stream, then it'll grow upon itself, especially with branding and just influence in general. If you can get people to watch you, even if people hate you, you can make dollars. You know what I'm saying? So you just build a brand for a lot of years. That's why a lot of people, you might look at and be like, how in the world does this person have such a huge audience? But with the interconnectivity of social media and just modern technology, it makes it possible for millions of people who believe that the earth is flat to come together. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a word. I don't think everybody can roll like Rogan, though. There's something else.
Nah.
It ain't a level playing field. Let me just put it that way. So that's it. So Joe Rogan, who reportedly makes $4 million a month, stopped contributing on January the 2nd. That's how quickly these high rollers cleared that $160,000 benchmark. Thank you, Linda from People's World, from laying that out. When you take it a step further to billionaires, it gets even worse, if you can believe that. Linda uses Elon Musk as an example. In this, many billionaires receive all their money in the form of bonuses and stock options. Elon Musk is the highest paid CEO in the world, but because none of it is wage income, he doesn't pay a single penny, not one penny, not one red penny into Social Security. That's how that's done. And if you wonder who's allowing this to happen, corporate politicians, of course. Ding, 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 ding. You win the prize. You knew who's letting this happen. The very entities that can make the rules, they're letting it happen because they are solely owned. Too many of these people are owned. Now look, I'm not saying all of these politicians are owned, but far too many of them are owned. And that is why the policies in this country are not bending towards the will of the everyday people, not meeting our needs. Check out this headline: House GOP eyes Social Security, Medicare amid spending battle. Republicans have pledged to cut spending and balance the budget, triggering a delicate conversation on the future of Americans' benefits. You know what? It ain't delicate at all. This should be a knockdown, drag out fight.
They're so ridiculous.
Put on blast, shouldn't they, Jackson?
Yes, they're so, the Republican Party is so, I mean, the Democrats are ridiculous too, but the Republicans are just 10 times as ridiculous in terms of stuff like this. You see headlines like this: Mike Pence goes on CNBC for 5.5 minutes straight, talks about cutting Social Security and Medicare. Republicans are constantly talking about that. And then they turn around and say, oh, no, just mind your business and shut up. You know, we didn't say that. But this actually is where Trump is winning. He was just on the campaign trail trashing Ron DeSantis for his record on Social Security and Medicare, and trashing the Republican establishment at large as a whole. He was talking about Paul Ryan. He was like, in connecting Ron DeSantis to Paul Ryan and how he was a disciple of him. And look what Paul Ryan wanted to do. Like, this is where Trump is winning, whereas the entire Republican Party is adamant about just cutting Social Security and cutting Medicare. So much to the point that they don't even hide it within their rhetoric. That's why I was laughing when you put that article up, because it's like, oh, and then tomorrow they'll be on TV and then they'll say, oh no, we don't want to cut Social Security.
Right. I mean, remember they got into a debate with the president during the State of the Union. You know, basically giving a response all up in there. You lie. You know, they might as well have said that, and they know good and well that at least on that he was telling the truth. We're gonna put up another headline for us to react to, Jackson. We going to the White House now. Biden, White House blast, mansion, GOP push for Social Security death panel. Now, you mean to tell me, the administration is absolutely right, said one advocacy group. The Trust Act is a ploy to gut Social Security and Medicare behind closed doors. Now, that's coming from Jake Johnson of Common Dreams. Shout out to Common Dreams. Now, let me get this straight. The shadow president who got coddled, who got invited to the White House. Meanwhile, faux progressives got blasted over there in that progressive do nothing caucus, the Congressional Progressive Caucus that is definitely spineless and they have no spine whatsoever. But let me just go ahead and say, Manchin gets invited to the ultimate mansion. And now this dude right here is sitting up here with his party, the Republicans, conspiring to cut Social Security benefits. That headline says it all.
And perhaps run for president. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we might get it all. We might be lucky and get the whole bag. You know what I'm saying? So
I know exactly what
it looks like that's what we're gonna be dealing with. You know,
it does. It looks just like that. And you know what? They know what they're doing. They slashing Social Security for the working class, and it won't affect the ultra wealthy one iota. They don't pay a dime towards Social Security. They don't care. They don't need it. They don't care. They only care about themselves. But like I said, it doesn't have to be this way. And Senator Bernard Sanders agrees with his Social Security Expansion Act. Let's put this up, team. How would it close the loopholes? So glad you asked again. You know we got the answers. This bill will require the wealthy to contribute into Social Security on all their income over $250,000. Hello, somebody, including investment income, and it would use the additional revenue to increase Social Security benefits and keep the program strong. Let's go ahead and do that, Congress. Let's do that. And if former President Donald J. Trump is serious, he go ahead and co-sign Senator Bernard Sanders' bill. President Donald J. Trump, we calling you out, sir. You serious with that rhetoric of yours? Go ahead and call up Senator Bernard Sanders from the great state of Vermont and say, listen here, I'm Donald J. Trump and I approve your bill.
Hey, but you know what? He probably would at least pose and do something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's really amazing to watch the Republican Party. Essentially, it's like they didn't plan or strategize to fight Trump at all. It's like they just kind of hoped that he would dwindle away. You know, they kind of hoped he would go away, and it hasn't happened. You know, it's like
Jackson, when you get over 70 million votes,
yeah,
where you going?
Right, exactly. And when you're a sociopath and feel no shame whatsoever at any moment in your life, I mean, what really can stop you?
That point,
you know what I mean? So
for real, exclamation point.
Lindsey Graham, the famous Lindsey Graham tweet that said, "If we elect Donald Trump, we're screwed." And he was 100% right on that. There's nothing they can do with him.
Here we are. It can't do nothing with them. And then one other bill, Social Security 2100, a sacred trust would also help. Social Security 2100, a sacred trust, would also lift the cap on Social Security contributions and use the revenue to expand benefits. It had the support of about 90% of the House Democrats in the last Congress. Let's see if we can get that 90% back. And let's see if we can get some Republicans to get a little religion, at least on Social Security. Now, elders, y'all need to revolt. And then young adjacent folks who gonna be right there in a minute or two, you need to revolt. And then anybody that loves an elder, we need to revolt and take it to the streets like our brothers and sisters in France. This is a sin and a shame. Y'all know I got a sin and a shame category. This fits in the sin and the shame category.